Hi, how is everyone today? I hope everyone is well. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you are having a prosperous week, right? I hope everyone is doing really, really well and you're getting everything that your heart desires and more in your business. And as usual, I want to come here today to talk to you about your business, about some tools and some resources and some strategies that you can use in your business. This week, we're talking about being booked, busy, but still not feeling like you're making enough money to reinvest into your business, to pay yourself. And what are some of these strategies you need to actually implement to shift that reality for you, right? So, as usual, if you can see me and hear me wherever you are seeing me and hearing me, I am live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and also on LinkedIn. So wherever you can see me and hear me, just tell me hi. I'm glad you can join me today for this week's lunch and learn. And for those of you who are seeing me for the very, very first time, I am Coach Adanna Austin. I am your business coach and consultant, and I work with high-end entrepreneurs like yourself to get very clear on your goals, identify your ideal clients, and develop the strategies to grow your business. So let's jump into this conversation. So I'm sure you've had the experience of looking at your calendar. It's fully booked, right? You have back to back calls, you have clients every week, but your bank account is not showing what it needs to show, right? Compared to how your calendar is booked. I'm sure a lot of us have experienced that. The truth is that you're not lazy. It's not that your work is not valuable. Your work is very, very valuable, but something is not adding up, right? And that's what we want to talk about today. What is not adding up and what you need to do to make sure that that adds up, right? Because you're busy. Yeah. And I always tell my clients there's a distinction between being busy and being productive, right? You're busy, but there's no breathing room financially. It's like you're feeling like I'm making money, but I can't enjoy my money, and I'm not seeing exactly where my money is going. And I want you to understand that working harder doesn't automatically translate to earning more. It's about working smarter. So for those of you who are in that stage where you are still underpricing, over delivering, and forget to create these systems to protect your profit, this message is for you. So think about a graphic designer, right? Because I'm talking about my type of clients, a graphic designer who may have 5 clients a month. Each one of them you're charging $200, right? That's $1,000. But between the amount of work that you have to do, the revision, the back end, the client calls, you could be working 25 plus hours a week, which is not sustainable, right? You have to figure out what systems are sustainable for me that allows me, yes, to be booked, but also to make not just enough revenue, but to make a profit in my business. Does this make sense to you guys? Yes, I'm sure this is a challenge that a lot of you may be experiencing. And I want you to remember that you're not alone on this journey. A lot of entrepreneurs experience this. These are the type of topics we don't like to talk about in business because we like to talk about the glitz and the glams and all of the good looking parts of business. But this is a reality for so many people. So let's talk about that income gap and why that may be happening for you, right? So one of the reasons, I'm going to give you 4 reasons. So one of the reasons, and after I give you the reasons, I'm going to tell you how you can go about fixing those gaps. So one of the reasons is that your pricing is not matching your capacity. You're charging based on time or effort and not on the outcome or the value. A lot of times to your business, you should not be charging based on time. You should be charging based on the outcome that your ideal clients will receive based on the value that you are providing for your ideal clients. Yeah. So that's one of the main, and I think that's one of the main reasons, the top reasons why a lot of people feel that income gap. They're working, they're extremely tired, but they're not feeling like they can enjoy the money they're making. They feel like they're not even making enough money, even though they are working with their clients every single day, right? So that's like a social media manager charging like $300 a month for 20 posts. That's like totally undervaluing your strategy, your planning, your reporting, because it's more than just posting, right? It's coming up with content. It may be coming up with visuals. It may be coming up with a full strategy for your posting, your planning, your reporting. It's so much things that go into it. There's a lot of value based in it, right? So you want to make sure that you're not just pricing based on time or effort, but also pricing based on the outcome or the value. So that's the first cause of that income gap. Yeah. The second cause of the income gap is you have no upsell business. And the upsell is really offering your clients another, like a more premium version to buy from you. So if they come to you for a basic package of something, you should be able to say, you know what, I have this more premium package, which you still get the basic things, but you get all of these great add-ons, which gives you a much more robust experience, right? So you need to have that upsell. I always tell my clients, what is the upsell to the thing that people are buying from you? What is that upsell? And that upsell is tends to be a little easier when you have a service-based business, but even in a product-based business, you want to ask yourself, what is the upsell that I can sell my clients to, right? You have to have a structured path or journey for your clients to go through to go to a higher tier offer. Does that make sense? So even as a coach, you can't just offer one-on-one services. You want to offer group programs, you want to offer workshops, you want to create some kind of retainer option, right? After the initial package ends. So when somebody completes this with you, what is the next stage as well? What is the next stage? So they complete this social media package with you for 3 months. What is the next thing that you can offer them? How can you create a retainer or something like that for them? Yeah, so that's number two. So you have no upsell, you have no structured upsell. The third thing is, which is linked to that upsell, is that you have not set up a revenue that is recurring. So you want to think about your business. How can I set up my business in such a way that I am receiving recurring income from my business, right? And that will help you with the inconsistent income. That will help with the ups and downs that so many entrepreneurs experience in their business, right? Where there's at one point in business, you're experiencing a lot of fees, and then another time you're experiencing a lot of famine, right? If you can figure out in your business, how can I create a recurring income stream so that my income becomes a lot more consistent? So instead of doing those one-off projects, then how can I retain clients so that they continue to pay for me, even if it's at a lower price, but it's something that they retain for me. So like a web designer could do a project, right? And after they build the website, they can then offer like maintenance retainers or templates and that kind of thing, so that they can create a passive income in their business. Does that make sense to you guys? So a lot of times when my clients are finished with their big ticket item, I also offer them a recurring monthly check-in at a reduced cost, but it still allows them to get the kind of support and accountability and still gives them access to the tools and resources, right? Even though our big project might be completed. So you want to create that recurring revenue stream in your business. So that's number three, right? That's number three. And number four is what we call scope creep. And we spoke about that in my group just the other day with Mikael, where clients are getting more than what was agreed without paying you more money. You know, sometimes you talk to a client and they ask for one thing and your contract says one thing, but during the process, now they're asking you to do X, Y, and Z and do all the additional things that they want without paying you any extra money, right? as an entrepreneur, you have to have those boundaries in your business and have really, really clear contracts of what is to be expected. And if they ask for anything extra, you have to be able to communicate to your audience that that is at an additional cost. A lot of times, entrepreneurs just say yes because, they want to be flexible and they want to be open, and nothing is wrong with that. But you also have to know where the boundary lies and how far out extra that you can or should be going, right? Because if you sign up to do 10 hours of work and at the end of it you end up doing 20 hours of work, then you are actually doing yourself and your business and that customer a disservice, right? So you want to create that boundary, so that you don't over deliver. And yes, there are opportunities to over deliver, but over deliver in with you being in charge of that over delivery, if that makes sense. Yeah. So your pricing doesn't match your capacity. You have no upsell in place. You don't have a recurring revenue stream, and you are over delivering, right? You're allowing scope creep to fall into your business. And those are four reasons that you may be experiencing some type of income gap. Tell me in the comments if you're experiencing anything like that. Any kind of income gap, any one of those things sounds familiar to you, whether you're listening to me live or you are listening to me after the fact. Tell me in the comments if any one of those four things resonates with what you are currently experiencing in your business. So let's talk about how you fix those gaps, right? So the first thing I usually tell my clients when they come to me and we've identified that they are having those income gaps is that we audit their offers. We audit whatever they're putting out to their audience to make sure that it is profitable, right? We want to make sure that in estimating um, proposals for our clients, we know how long a service may take, right? If I'm doing electrical work or hairdressing or coaching or accounting or bookkeeping or whatever it is, that I understand and I can easily communicate with my audience how long your service actually takes, so we can price for energy, time, delivery, overheads. You want to be able to track how long each service takes from inquiry to delivery, right? So if you charge, let's give the example, if you charge $500 but spend 15 hours on a service, you're earning $33 per hour before expenses. That is not the most profitable setup for your business. So you have to take everything into consideration, not just the time, but the delivery, the overheads, the energy, the value. So we do an audit first to make sure they are profitable, and then we adjust pricing to suit, if that is one of the things that has to happen. That is not always, but that may be one of the things that has to happen. The second thing is that we create a value ladder. So we create things or a system in their business where they can upsell to their audience, right? So it allows you to serve more people at different levels without burning out, instead of just relying on this one income stream. So you can go from, in the case of businesses like my own, you can go from a workshop for $97 or $100. Then you can do a group program for $600. Then you can do one-on-one coaching for $2,000. Then you can do a retreat or a mastermind for $4,000. The point is that you're giving your audience multiple ways to work with you, right? And multiple ways they can start at the workshop, then go to a group program, then go to one-on-one, and then create and then attend one of your masterminds. You're giving them an upsell, you're giving them options, right? And of course, at every level, they get something a little different, or they get something extra because it's at a more premium price, but you are giving your audience options to move up your value ladder. Each program has additional value. Yeah, and that's one of the ways that you can really close that income gap, because you can have 5 people in your workshop, you can have 10 people in group program, you can have 2 people doing it one-on-one coaching, and then you can have 5 people in your mastermind, but you're serving people at different levels so that you know that money is coming in from multiple sources. Does that make sense? So you want to create that value ladder, not just have one price point in your business. Yeah. The other thing is you want to create retainers and recurring revenue. So think about in your business, how can I create like subscriptions, VIP days, monthly consulting calls, templates, or access to ongoing support, right? If they have already done the group program or the one-on-one coaching, if they are not ready to move on to the mastermind, what is something else that you can provide to them that would allow them or set them up to be retainer clients for you, right? Where they have to work with you or you work with them every single month. That way you're setting up your business to have that recurring revenue, right? That's what you want. You don't want to just set up your business to have these one-off, because that is the feast of famine. That is how the feast of famine becomes alive. It becomes it's a whole entity on itself, right? What is that recurring revenue stream that you can create in your business? And I know this information is brand new to some of you, so you mightn't have the answer immediately, but you know what to do, right? Jump into my DMs, book a consultation, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about how you can do that in your business. But every business needs to have that recurring income stream, whether you're selling templates, whether you're selling some type of ongoing support, whether it's a monthly group support, a VIP day, a subscription, something that you can set up in your business, right? That allows your clients to have that recurring income. So even if you are doing air conditioning, right? You normally service and clean air conditions. You should have it set up in such a way your clients need to have their air conditions serviced every 4 months. You set up the system, the back end system in your business so that your clients are getting an email or WhatsApp or text or something saying, hey, your service is due at the end of this month. Just book it by clicking on this link or responding to this message to book it, because the same way for a hairdresser, the same way for a nail tech, the same way for a coach. You have to set up that system and don't wait for the clients to find you, because even for a mechanic, your clients need to, if you're working with your clients, when they need to have an oil change, when they need to have the tires thing, when they need to have balancing, when they need to have certain things. So set up the business in such a way that instead of waiting for them to come to you, you are creating that system, right? Where you are alerting them, hey, it's time for you to do this, so that you always have recurring income coming in, right? Because everybody's not going to do that at the same time. So you want to set it up so that every month you have that recurring set of people coming in, right? And that means establishing like what I like to call a revenue rhythm. Yes, you want to create a revenue rhythm. So you have predictable payment cycles, right? You create those monthly retainers, those deposits, those milestones. You create payment plans according to the type of business and the cost of your premium offer. You want to create some type of payment plan. So some of my offers, which may be longer term, instead of them paying the full price, I might say, okay, you have a payment plan. You pay 50% down payment, and then for the next 2 to 3 months, you pay this amount. That way, you kind of guarantee and money is coming into your business. Does that make sense, guys? So you want to do that to avoid the feast and famine cycles in your business. So think about where your business is at. Think about what you're offering your clients. Think about what the upsell could be, right? I always say start with your premium offer, your biggest offer, and break that down into smaller offers and offer it to your audience at different price points, and then create that retainer recurring revenue rhythm in your business. Does that make sense? I hope it is making sense to you. Take it in, take the information and walk away with it. Think about it a little bit, then jump into my DMs, leave a comment under the video so we can talk more about it, because it is important for you to create a business that is not just profitable, but also sustainable, right? Because you can be profitable without being sustainable. You want to create a system and a business that is sustainable. So you want to ask yourself these questions. Which of your current offers need to be raised? Because it might not be all, right? But which of your current offers need to be raised? The second question is, what's draining your time but not paying you? Because it's important for you to focus on the income generating activities in your business, right? But what's draining your time but is not paying you anything? You're spending 80% of your time on it, but it's not actually generating any revenue. And the third question is, what recurring stream could you introduce within the next 30 days? So those three questions I want you to answer as you jump into my DMs, right? Which of your current offers need to be raised? What's draining your time but not paying you? What recurring stream could you introduce within the next 30 days? Right? So it might mean raising your prices by 20%. That could give you an instant revenue boost. It could be adding a $200 retainer to 5 clients, or 150 retainer to 5 clients. It could be creating a digital product, right? So that you have a passive income stream coming into your business. Guys, sometimes the difference it makes in our revenue requires a simple tweaker. It may not require you adding new products, or even chasing new clients. It just requires a simple tweak in how you are currently operating and running your business. It can be a simple tweak, whether it's raising your price, adding a retainer, or creating a digital product, right? If you've done videos or you have templates already, you have an ebook, those are digital products. If you have 5 or 10 people who are asking you the same questions, put them into a membership. Put them into a membership where they pay you a particular amount of money every single month to get these questions answered. You understand, guys? So, booked and banked is what you're looking for. Being booked and paid regularly, weekly, daily, monthly. That is what your goal is, right? So it's about creating the business model that will support that reality for you, right? And it's also to help you get out of that hustle, because it's not about hustling, right? It's about working smarter. We want to remove that hustle mindset and that hustle mentality, because you don't have to hustle in order to be successful. You want to be able to work smarter as you grow your business, put these systems in place, use the tools and resources that are available to you to get it done. Yeah, so I hope this message finds you well. If you need support in setting up any of these things, jump into my DMs or comment under the video wherever you are seeing it, and let me know, and I'll reach out to you, and we will definitely have a further conversation about how we can actually do that. We could get on a free 15-minute consultation call. I'll add a link to the consultation call in at the end of the video, so that, or if you're on Instagram, just go into the link in my bio and click on the consultation call, and set up that consultation call so that we can talk more about how we can set this up in your business. Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening, and I am excited to hear the questions that you have for me. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.